All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Keyboard Wars, presented by CrosswordsMMA.com. My name is Eddie Law. That's Aaron Robbins. That's Fred Kirby. And that, my friends, is the Conor McGregor shirt. How you feeling, Aaron?
I feel all right.
That's what we decided was for the person that loved. Well, no, we actually decided that afterwards, right? After the results came in.
Conor McGregor, and I got a tiger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What's it say? What's it say there at the bottom? If you
It says, if you see the tiger, it's too late. You're food.
Bravo! As much as I love you, Connor, that is a hideous shirt and a hideous tagline. I love it.
That tattoo is awful.
I'll tell you what. Even after losing the 32 pounds, Reebok, you make your shirts fucking little. This is a large, and this motherfucker wouldn't fit Mighty Mouse.
Jeez. Well, shit.
Okay. Quickly, before we get started, last show of the year, we're going to do a show. We're going to give out the little awards, do our little year in review. Before we get started on all of our topics, just quickly, what do you guys think about the year overall for MMA? we got a bunch of categories picked out, but the Reebok thing happened this year. We have more fights than ever. A lot of people complain about oversaturation. Aaron, starting with you. Overall, how was 2015 for MMA?
All right, so overall, we saw the emergence of some awesome stars, the absolute destruction of certain stars. We saw, probably business-wise, the largest blunder of any large corporation, which would be the Reebok deal. The oversaturation I'm not a huge fan of, but on the whole, I would have to say that 2015, one of my favorite years watching MMA. And I'll tell you why. The massive turnover in champions. This was one of those that we get, like, what would you guys say, every 5 to 7 years, we get this big changing of the guard. The young guys coming up, coming into their own. The older guys kind of stepping down. They can't keep up anymore. And then we get to see who's legit, who's going to be a long-term champion. Do we get another GSP? You know, do we get another Anderson Silva? Or are these all guys going to be flashes in the pan for a while until, you know, somebody really dominant emerges? But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed 2015.
Yeah, man. You know what? I thought it was one of the better years in MMA because look, we like in, for example, when Ronda Rousey said that, you know, she doesn't care if people hate her or love her as long as they feel something about her, right? That's kind of what you want, what the UFC wants, right?
We found out, though, Eddie, we found out that's a lie. When people don't like her, she gains 50 pounds in 2 weeks.
Hot shot.
You know what? We saw the pictures, man. He's not lying, unfortunately.
Stop it. I think she looks good.
I mean, you know, she's still there, but you see the pictures of her going to the ball with Marine and all that. She blew up a little bit.
Always with the pictures.
Not hating. I'm just saying, tiny bit. Anyway, no, you know what? I'm with Aaron on that one. The turnover in champions. What is it? 6 new champions?
I think so.
How many divisions do we have?
25, 35, 45, 55, 70, 85, 205, heavyweight, and then the 2 women's divisions. So 10, right?
I thought we had 8.
Really? All right, maybe I'm wrong. Let me look it up real quick.
Either way, there was a lot of fucking turnovers in champions.
That's what you like about MMA, right? The you never fucking know what's gonna happen.
I think that the sport is constantly evolving, and I think it did a lot of that this year still, man. The Reebok deal ended up not being a great deal because Reebok fucking sucks, but I do think the idea was in the right place to just keep growing the sport and legitimizing it. And I also think there it is, yeah. Look at you, you're fucking part of the team now, Dr. Feelgood. And listen,
I'm replacing this
with the Reebok.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this.
You're gonna get fucking signed to the team if you keep that up.
Fuck yeah.
I'm paying you for shit like that. I also think that the international shows are good. They have found a way to put them on Fight Pass and cultivate new talent and breed new talent from within. They're buying all these other organizations and putting it into Fight Pass. You've never been able to get more fights at your fucking fingertips than now it's awesome, man. It was a great year, and it seems like even though the Reebok thing was kind of a blunder, it's all moving in the right direction. So, good shit altogether.
Definitely. And real quick for what's up?
No, just Conor McGregor, baby. It was
Yeah, of course.
his year, the emergence.
Right before
We'll
we
get to
start.
that later.
Yeah, right before we start the awards here. Breaking news, I guess breaking news. Kelvin Gastelum out of UFC 195 due to an undisclosed injury. I think he ate too many Twinkies and just sat down.
Yeah, he got a really bad jaw cramp from Jimmy John's.
There you go. He's fit for fat. So
Quick disclaimer: Jimmy John's fucking sucks.
I'm not a fan either. I thought I was the only one.
I love him. I love him. Are you fucking kidding me? Back in the day when I was weighing 250, 260, the fucking Jimmy John's gargantuan.
I made a Jimmy John's one time, and they were cold, disgusting pieces of trash.
They're fucking cold lunch meat sandwiches, you dickhead.
Hey, real quick.
Precisely why they suck.
You guys see Mike Jarvis' tweet?
No.
Nope.
Okay, he has a picture of John Jones, and he says on the tweet, says, "Did you guys see this yet? Look what's on the counter." I'm not sure what we're looking at.
It's a crock pot. Oh, there's a little bit of cocaine there?
Is that Coke? I don't know, man. Is that
just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, come on, Mike. Don't be a pussy. That's just like a half G.
Yeah, but still,
somehow.
John doesn't be that stupid to just leave Coke lying around the house.
At least not to post a fucking picture with it on social media.
That's not Coke. Get the fuck out of here with
that. It doesn't look like Coke to me, but if it was, John Jones is a fucking idiot. But it's not. I don't think.
Come on, guys.
Yep. It's not Coke.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and make our picks here for of the year stuff. Let's start off with. I don't know if you guys actually used the list on there or not, so I'm just gonna throw it out. If you did it, great. If you didn't, whatever. Biggest hype train derailed of the year.
Ronda Rousey.
You go Ronda
Rousey? Yeah. I mean, listen, we were talking before we went live, and Paige Van Zandt comes to mind. Obviously, that's fresh in our minds, and she had a huge fucking hype train because she's a pretty little thing that got fucking derailed. But I think some of us seen that coming. And let's be honest, Ronda Rousey's hype train was running a lot more full throttle than Paige's was. Paige's was barely going. Ronda's was at fucking full thrust.
Well, and for me, there's another thing too, man. Like Paige Van Zandt lost, and everybody's like, "Oh, Paige Van Zandt, this is not as good as she was, but at least she's still pretty. Look, she's already all healed up." Motherfuckers jumped off the Ronda Rousey hype train. What I say earlier, Fred, faster than the survivors of the Titanic jumped off that fucking ship, dude.
Yeah, dude.
All those little girls that had Halloween costumes burnt those things in effigy. They're like, fuck this girl. Gone. Cyborg was like, I don't want to fight her anymore. She sucks. It was ridiculous. I think, except for Travis Brown, everybody else pretty much just was like, done. So, yeah, I'd have to say, what do you think, Ed? You don't think it was Ronda?
No, I'm saying Cyborg. Cyborg.
That was the biggest hype train derailed. Who derailed it?
Ronda. No, Holly Holm derailed that hype train too. Holly Holm took out a bunch of hype trains. Okay, but mainly those two, right? You beat Ronda Rousey. No one gives a shit about Cyborg. When's the last time? You know what Cyborg is doing right now? And I shit you not, she's literally doing this. You can go to her fucking Twitter and see it. She's selling shout-outs for Christmas. I shit you not, selling shout-out videos for Christmas. But look at her Twitter if you want. You can see that shit. Okay, that's how bad it's gotten. Had Ronda Rousey not lost, that money fight's still there. Okay, now who's talking about Cyborg? Not a goddamn body. Nobody. Zero people. People are still talking like a motherfucker about Ronda.
All right.
Yeah, true enough. Okay, well, just before we get off of this quickly, because I think that Ronda and Paige were big ones. Is there anybody else that comes to mind? Gunnar Nelson is a personal one of mine who I felt like, he lost to Rick Story, and then who the fuck did he just lose? Damian Maia.
His ass.
Yeah, so I thought that he had a lot of potential, and I still think he does got a little bit, but I think that fucking his hype train has definitely been exposed to not be as good as we thought he was.
Wah, 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 wah.
Brandon Thatch, another one that kind of fucking bit the dust a little bit this year.
Yeah, but he didn't have any hype behind him.
Well, Yeah, a fucking little bit, until Ben Henderson stole it.
Would you say?
Then he looked like shit in his next fight too.
Would you guys say Cain Velasquez would be one of them?
For you, I suppose, right? I never thought Cain was that great, but I do think that some people did think he was.
Yeah, they were calling him like if he had won a couple more fights, they were gonna call him the best heavyweight to ever fight. He was right there. Fedor took a long fucking time to get that tag for him. So.
Yeah, well, if fucking frogs had wings, they wouldn't hit their ass when they hop.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah, I'd safe to say that Ronda Rousey would be the biggest hype train to run with.
For sure. And then, but ipso facto, Cyborg.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, moving on here. Breakout fighter of the year. Go ahead and take it away, Kirby.
Come on, right? Conor McGregor. What the fuck? I mean, who had a bigger year than Conor McGregor, man? The dude fucking, he did it all. He said it all. There isn't a whole lot to say about this fucking guy. Even Dr. Feelgood ends up wearing a Conor McGregor. Listen, this is how fucking powerful this guy is.
I lost a bet.
Doesn't matter. The universe doesn't care.
I'm
sending the shirt.
After this episode, I'm sending the shirt to Dayton.
Dayton.
This is your Christmas gift, Kirby.
Hey, listen, I'll take it. I don't give a fuck.
I know you would. You'd be happy to have it.
I would be.
I'll tell you what. My breakout fighter of the year. It's I'm stuck between two guys: Thomas Almeida or Charles Oliveira. I'm thinking at this point maybe a little more Thomas, but that last fight, Oliveira. I like those two guys. They're young. They're not fully developed. They're starting this nice, this nice momentum. I think in 2016 we're going to see both of these cats do big things. So if I had to pick one, I'm going Thomas Almeida.
All right. I'm going to go with Holly Holm. Coming into the UFC, her making her debut and only winning, like barely beating Rocky Pennington via split. And then she pretty much dominated, what's her name? Renew?
Yep.
No, is that her?
Yep. Uh-huh.
And then, flipping the script on everybody's ass and knocking the shit out of Ronda Rousey. So I think, to me, she's my breakout fighter of the year.
Yeah, and quickly before we move on, realistically, not fucking Conor McGregor, because to be a breakout fighter, you have to be kind of under the radar, and even going into this year, dude was pretty fucking heavily hyped. Mm-hmm. Max Holloway would be my breakout fighter of the year. I think that damn dude. Yeah, that damn dude definitely has had. Even though his last fight was a bit lackluster, before that, he fucking beat the shit out of Cub Swanson. And he had been on a bit of a roll. I can't remember exactly the cats he had beat. Did he beat Charles Oliveira?
He did, but it was because Oliveira popped his shoulder out of joint or some weird shit.
Okay. No, but he's had a bunch of big wins.
He tore his esophagus, didn't he?
Ah!
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's aggressive blowjobs.
Check it out. So here are the guys Holloway beat this year, and he didn't lose at all in 2015. Cole Miller, Cub Swanson, Oliveira, and Jeremy Stevens. 2 decisions, 2 finishes.
Yeah. See, there you go. Exactly. Max Holloway had a fantastic year, and coming into the year, he was definitely, kind of on some people's radars, but not like that now.
And arguably, just to upset Kirby, Tony Ferguson.
he was my honorable mention, honestly.
you know what? Listen, I can't stand that prick, but you guys are right. He has definitely. He's a guy that I never really took seriously. But you guys are all high on him. A lot of people are high on him. He's winning some big fights. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, the kid is definitely it's been a really good year for Tony Ferguson. No doubt about it.
Here's a comment here on YouTube from Code, our buddy there. Says, I had to pause my poem for this shit. Make it good. So if you want to show him a tip there, Kirby?
Not yet. He has to pay for that.
All right, let's keep it fresh. Let's keep it going.
Before we get to the
and I'll tell you what, Eddie, if you have some weird gay name for this show, this episode, I'm gonna be pissed. If it's like what the and a bunch of question marks, this thing is UFC year in review.
Basically, it says end of the year awards and shit.
You know what? You gotta start putting UFC in the titles.
All right, fine. I'll work on that. Goddamn. All right, 2016 is a new year. Anyway, next category here: funniest or weirdest post-fight interview of the year. And I got a few ideas, and I'm pretty sure what the one dominant one's going to be. Wow. But yeah, go ahead and go, Aaron.
Rothwell.
And the weirdest fucking laugh, or what was that, a laugh or a fucking?
Yeah, that was like he did his old fucking like Sith Lord set up evil doctor. Yeah, the evil laugh and what he said beforehand, like oh he was coming to get everybody, like he was this evil character. That was the weirdest. I'll tell you what, if it wasn't the funniest, it was definitely the most fucking embarrassing. I felt embarrassed.
That was bad, man.
I wasn't even in the building, and I got ashamed.
Yeah.
That was really bad. Yeah. What about you, Kirby?
You know what, man? That's hard to argue. I would definitely say funniest or weirdest goes to Ben Rothwell for sure. That fucking weird laugh. And who's that fucking prick fight next?
Rothwell. He fights Barnett.
Yeah. I hope he loses. The last thing I want to do is hear that fucking dopey, disgusting laugh again. That takes the cake, man. There's nothing else. What do you got, Eddie? Does anything stand out? What else happened?
I was stuck between Rothwell and Nate Diaz. For the fact that they have to mute one, because it's been fresh, because it's fresh in my mind probably, yeah. But because they have to mute the hell out of the entire thing. Like all we heard was just him yelling at the camera, no sound whatsoever, and I'm sorry. And then another just silence for another 5 or 6 seconds, and then Joe Rogan not talking to the microphone, can't hear shit still, and then he goes, Nate Diaz, everybody, and that was it.
So hold on. So quickly on that, just on that point, do you think that Nate Diaz will ever be allowed to fight on Fox again?
Fuck no. Well, he won't be. They won't. Well, no, maybe, but they won't allow him to talk ever again. That's for sure. Like 100%.
I think if they let him fight on Fox again, they open themselves for this kind of behavior. He can never fight on Fox again, right? Like, because if that's the case, he'd be like, yeah, yo, fuck you again, motherfuckers. Like, they can bleep my whole shit out, and they still gonna let me fight on Fox because I bring in numbers, bitch.
Real quick, was that not incidentally a very smart thing to do? Mind you, he didn't do it on purpose, but wasn't that a smart thing to do? Because everyone ran to Twitter and the internet to be like, what the fuck did he say? And now the attention's all over Nate Diaz.
I don't think Nate Diaz is smart enough to think it out that
Like
far.
I said, he didn't do it on purpose.
That was total lack of impulse control.
Real quick, while we're on that, because they're talking about Nate Diaz and McGregor, Aaron, do you want to see that fight, Nate Diaz versus McGregor?
Best fight of 2016. I am not, and I'll tell you why. Kirby and I just talked about this. We had about an hour-long phone call to prep for this show. Think about the lead-up to that fight. Nate is not going to get knocked out immediately by the Spud Botherer. Even if they did like a 90-day tour, the antics and the lead-up to that fight would be epic. There would be scuffles at every stop. The finger, those guys would be talking to each other the whole time. No glove touching. They wouldn't be able to get near each other during the weigh-ins. It would be epic. There would be so many casuals watching that fight. I don't give a shit about the actual fight itself because I do think Nate eventually gets worn down and beat by Conor McGregor, but I do think the lead up to the fight would probably give me a raging hard-on for about 90 days.
Yeah, listen, this is the question that I posed to Aaron before the show. If you had your druthers, Eddie, Conor McGregor is probably the most interesting character in the UFC right now, especially about what, who his next fight is or where it's going to be or whatever. If you had your way, what would you make Conor McGregor's next fight?
Nate Diaz. Fuck yeah, Nate Diaz. I want to see that fight so badly. You know what? Just like Aaron said, I give two shits. I give fuck all about the fight. I want to see the fucking world tour. I want to see the pre-fight press conference. I want to see the pre-fight press conference right before the fights. I want to see the weigh-ins. I want to see the workout where Conor McGregor comes to fuck with Nate Diaz and Nate Diaz starts flicking him off, and you got to have crowds of people in the middle. I want to see some John Jones DC type of shit. Like, fuck yeah, I want to see that fight.
I want to see Nick Diaz attack Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah.
That'd be so good. It's just SBG against Lodi Gracie Jiu-Jitsu would be the shit.
Listen, you guys are absolutely right. That would be fantastic, and I'll tell you why that would be a great idea. Now, Joe Silva, I know you're watching. Listen up. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. What you do, you book Conor versus Nate Diaz. You have this great fight in which the fucking build-up will be epic, like we just said. It will be fucking probably one of the best hype fights in UFC history. And the great thing about it is it'll be a fun fight, too. There's going to be no lamprey. It won't be a Quentin Rampage Jackson and Rashad Evans where you get this big build-up and then those two sissies hug for fucking 5 rounds. Conor and Nate will most certainly get after it. And the good thing about it for the UFC is, like fucking Dr. Feelgood said, Conor will probably win. He's younger. He's more vibrant. I think that he'll be a bit quicker. And listen, Nate Diaz had a great performance against Michael Johnson, but he got pieced up. He's a tough kid, but he gets hit a lot. Conor hits hard and he's very accurate. I think that eventually Conor wins that fight. And then what that does is makes fucking Conor's star burn even brighter. And at that point, I would like to see him drop back down to 45 and fight Frankie for the belt, which I think, and we was talking about this before we went live, is his hardest fight right now out there. And being a legit Conor fan, that's the fight that I want to see Conor in, because I think that's the fight where we find out for real how good he is and what he can deal with, because Frankie brings some very interesting things to the table.
And besides that, with what I saw this past weekend, if he fights Franken-Onions right now, he's going to get hurt, because that dude...
So listen, that's the end. That's the trifecta to my Conor plan for 2016. He fights Nate, he defends the belt against Frankie, and if he can pass the Frankie test, go ahead and feed him to that cheating cocksucker RDA. Because I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Fucking Javier Cordero be damned. RDA is on the fucking special sauce. That fucking guy looks more vicious than Mike Tyson in his fucking prime. It was ridiculous, that fight.
All right, what's the next category?
All right, real quick, got a tweet from Andrew Reed saying the Potato Goblin will be completely destroyed in the bad mouth game with Diaz. I don't know about that. I think
that'll be a more interesting fight than the actual fight, is who wins the war of words. Because Nate is a beast in that department. You can't really offend Nate Diaz. He don't understand it. He's like, whatever, so what? You're a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he won't bother Nate Diaz at all. But I don't think anything Nate Diaz says will piss off McGregor either. It'll just be fun as hell to watch.
That's a good point. Be great.
All right. Next category, worst ref. And I, by default, go with Steve Mazzagatti, just because.
No.
That's just by default. Mazzagatti always sucks.
Yeah. Who do you have, Aaron?
Darren Vallel.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah.
There is no argument.
I'm with that.
He's the worst referee in combat sports. He's the one who let Josh Koscheck almost die.
Yep. Yeah. The bulldog drool.
And then what was the other one? He let two chokes go on way, way too long. What was the other one, Eddie? Do you remember?
No. Fuck. What was it?
Either way,
close.
Within a span of like 2 months, he let two chokes go way too long, and one person almost get beat to death. Darren Vallel is the worst referee in the history of the world. He makes Steve Mazzagatti look like fucking Dan Murgliata.
You know what? I'm with you on that one now that I think about it. I forgot all about that guy, too. Yeah, you pick that same guy, Kirby?
Yeah, we talked about it before the show, man. And obviously Mazzagatti's always fucking shit up left and right. And who was it? Was it Herb Dean that let Chris Weidman almost get snuffed out?
Yeah.
Fucking Luke Rockwell was beating the shit out of Chris Weidman. He's like, he's got it. This thing fucking peel himself off the floor.
We explained that last week, guys. That was because it was a title fight.
I know, but he was taking a pretty vicious fucking beating. But the Lavelle cat is definitely the one that the Josh Koscheck thing was bad, dog. Yeah. Koscheck looked like he got bit by a fucking zombie off The Walking Dead.
Yeah. All right, next category here. This is fun. Biggest crybaby in 2015 in MMA. What do you got, Kirby?
Let me go first, please. Tim fucking Kennedy.
I knew you were going to do that.
Dog, I respect you for fucking going and being a Marine and risking your life for our freedom and shit like that. For that, you are the fucking man, Tim Kennedy. I do respect the troops, and you're a bad motherfucker. But other than that, you are a crybaby of epic proportions, man. Every time that dude got to social media, ooh, Reebok, you're so stupid. Ooh, UFC, give me a big fight. Hey, man, Tim, shut up. You got fucking starched by gay cheeses. Now, even though he cheated a little, he still knocked your funny ass out. Quit with that goddamn crying.
Aaron?
Michael Bisping.
Good one.
Michael Bisping, for me, is the perennial crybaby. He always talks about a championship fight that's never going to happen. He's never lost just because he's mediocre. It's always something. His opponents are on steroids. He had something going wrong with him. He can't see out of one eye and he's blind in the other. It's all the fucking bullshit. It's the eye pokes. It's the cheating. Wham. Even when it seems like even when he's doing commentating, he's fucking whining about something. For me, Michael Bisping is the perennial crybaby.
All right. Mine is kind of a mix between Misha Tate and Chris Cyborg. Because it seemed like no matter what happened, if Ronda was doing good or getting stuff, they were both bitching. Right?
You just hate Cyborg.
I do dislike Cyborg.
Cyborg made it on your list. You're tying Cyborg into shit that she ain't got nothing to do with. No.
She did.
Cyborg.
Yes, she did. Anytime Ronda was doing anything, if she had a fight and she beat the shit out of Betch Correia, Cyborg had to fucking come in and say some shit. If Ronda Rousey started dating Travis Brown, Cyborg had to start preaching about some shit. Fucking Misha Tate gets a title shot. For some reason, Cyborg's got to be the bitching about some shit. If Ronda Rousey says, no, I'm not moving, I'm not going up to 140, 145 to fight your bitch ass, and then Cyborg's going to be bitching about that. Just complete, utter bitching all year long from Chris Cyborg. That's the reason why she's my crybaby of the year. So.
True. You're right about that. She did cry a lot this year about shit that she wasn't going to do nothing about anyway. So.
I mean, she takes number 2 just because, she's a hot chick that just annoys the fuck out of me. And the Brian Carraway thing bothers me. I don't know why. Anyway, all right, moving on here to the next category. Start here with Aaron. Biggest upset of 2015. Quite obvious.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go with Ronda Rousey. Then I'm gonna have to leave the show for a moment because if I don't go urinate, I'm gonna piss my pants.
Kirby, biggest upset of 2015.
Biggest upset. Yeah, okay, this would be a fucking good time for that to happen because this is easy, right? Like, what's bigger than the fucking Ronda Rousey upset, right? Yeah. I mean, fucking, the only other fight, like, just for fucking the sake of argument and the sake of us killing a couple minutes here, Anthony Pettis and RDA. We were talking about that before. Going into that fight, I don't think very many people picked fucking RDA outside of Brazil to actually beat and fucking decrown Anthony Pettis. But the Holly Holm thing was definitely fucking a lot more significant for sure. For sure.
It was massive. We were fed that Ronda Rousey was unbeatable. Like, literally unbeatable.
Right.
Mike Tyson of women's MMA, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Holly Holm's like, nope. But if you want to talk about RDA, I mean, before he fought Anthony Pettis, I mean, he got ragdolled by Khabib, right? Like, he got just thrown around by Khabib Nurmagomedov. So much that people were calling Khabib the uncrowned king at 155. And then, he beats Jason Hyde, beats Benson Henderson, his hype starts going up. He leg kicks the shit out of Nate Diaz, wins that. And then he fights Anthony Pettis, takes the belt. But still, nobody believed that Anthony Pettis was going to lose to RDA. So I'm with you. That's a really close second.
For sure.
Holly Ronda. Holly Ronda's my pick as well, too.
Well, yeah, nothing tops Holly Ronda, but Anthony Pettis and RDA is a close second. Okay.
No, because RDA is arguably the best fighter that's ever lived.
Go fuck yourself. 1 second.
Everyone's fucking leaving. All right. Aaron, let's move on to the next category here. Your biggest disappointment in MMA of 2015.
Okay. I guess it is because I'm a fan. I'd have to say one of my biggest disappointments happened just this weekend. A 1-minute destruction of Cowboy Cerrone by Frankenstein Dos Anjons. I tell you what, Cowboy has been one of my perennial favorites for a long, long time. But the guy chokes in all clutch situations. So I knew this motherfucker was going to do it to me again. I waited how many years for him to finally get his UFC gold. Yeah. Goddamn Frankenstein Dos Anjons beats him with a fucking liver shot in 1 goddamn minute. I was disappointed. I am still disappointed. I will always be disappointed. And then past that, and then my honorable mention is fucking Jose Aldo.
All right. Kirby, your biggest disappointment of 2015.
Yeah, okay. I think he just took it. Yeah. You know what, man? You know what? My biggest disappointment of 2015 isn't Donald Cerrone. It's RDA. And I tell you what, because I'm stuck with this guy as my fucking champ. I've been telling you guys on this show the whole year, he's not my lightweight champ. But I gotta say, man, with that performance, he looked vicious. And I know, man, I've been criticizing the dude forever. And if I am fucking wrong, I am fucking eternally sorry to this guy because I've been accusing him for a month of Sundays. But I don't give a fuck. I think that guy is fucking juicing. He fucking looks good. And you know what? More than looking good, he's just savage now, man. He looks like he was a fucking animal with Cowboy that night, man. He seems like a completely different fighter than the guy that debuted in the UFC, 3 or 4 years ago or whatever. And I suppose some fighters can just completely change, but I feel so indifferent towards RDA. It's hard for me to buy it for some reason, but he looked savage, so but still, my biggest disappointment is having to deal with him as my lightweight champion, BJ Penn's successor. Ain't that a bitch? RDA.
All right. My biggest disappointment, close second to me was Cain Velasquez not be even fucking fighting this year.
That wasn't your fucking main one?
No, my number one is the Bellator Dynamite event. That shit pissed me off. Because
Eddie, you were just pulling so strange shit out of your ass. I'm not prepared for your answers. Every other answer is Cyborg, and now you bring up Bellator. Bellator, of course, Bellator is the biggest disappointment of 2015. They're the biggest disappointment of every weekend they put on a show.
They are the disappointment.
No, but I was
man, they should call themselves Disappointment FC.
disappointment or some bullshit. By the way, that name Bellator is stupid as fuck. But that Dynamite Bellator card was supposed to be huge, all kickboxing, MMA the same night, and I fucking fell asleep 3/4 of the way through. That shit was fucking awful. It was an awful event.
Suck my dick, YouTube. I got so pissed off talking about Donald Cerrone. Gotta smoke on the show. I haven't smoked on this show in months. That fight pissed me off. That wasn't disappointment. That was straight up rage. God damn it, Cerrone, with all your fucking jet skiing. Fucking RV.
Yeah, and RDA with all your fucking steroids and your Brazilian aggression.
And your fucking disgusting bolts coming out of your neck and your fucking flat top head, you fucking gross bastard.
Fucking Cyborg. Anyway, moving on to the next category. Okay, this is where it gets good. Now we're a little more serious on this one. Fight of the year. Now, there's a lot of fights this year. There's plenty of runner-ups, in my opinion. But your top fight of the year, Kirby.
Like you said, man, there's a lot of honorable mentions, a lot of great fights this year when you think back about the whole year in review. But the fucking sad thing about it is I think this is a lot like the biggest upset of the year. I think there's really clearly only one fight of the year, and it was fucking Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald. That was a fucking great fight. Fucking McDonald showed great heart, took a vicious beating, and actually doled out a little bit of a beating himself. That's what kind of made it such a great fight, was that he did hurt Robbie in that fight. Looking back on it, you just kind of remember, Rory's nose getting disintegrated, but he did put a bit of a beating on Robbie in that fight, too.
I'll tell you what I remember about that fight, how tight my anus was the whole time thinking Robbie was going to make a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
It was a war. It was a war.
He got rocked in that fight. That fight could have gone either way, right up until I saw that fucking nose disintegration.
Oh, God, that's so gross.
I said to the people that I was with, I was like, that nose is fucking pulverized. If he gets touched in that bitch one more time, and sure as fuck, he throws out that punch, pop, and ooh. And what I loved about that, man, that was a war of attrition. That fight had ups and downs.
Yep.
Those two fuckers are warriors. That was, I'm telling you what, that might be my favorite fight. I've watched that fight a half a dozen times.
Well, and listen, you got to add in a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of great fights, and there's a lot of fucking, slobber knocker fights that mean fucking shit for nothing. You know what I mean? Guys that just get out there and fucking give it hell and beat the shit out of each other. And those are great fights, too. But this was against two of the very best in the world for the most prestigious belt in the world at that weight division. So, you know what I mean? It being for all the marbles and still being such a fantastic fight is kind of what makes it So great. What the fuck? Great fight. Had all the meaning in the world. Roy McDonald was supposed to be like GSP's successor, kind of. He was kind of. I think a lot of people expected him to win that fight going into it, and you seen what happened.
Well, my fight of the year, just like you guys, Lawler McDonald. My favorite moment in between rounds, they stop. Obviously, Herb Dean sits in the middle, and they just stare at each other, both covered in blood, both just staring daggers into each other, to the point where Herb Dean has to be like, "All right, fuckers, cut it out, go back to your corners." But they were like, it was like, "Motherfucker, I'm gonna die before you beat me." It was just that moment was just powerful as fuck right there.
You know what I love about that moment? Neither one of those guys are shit talkers.
Yeah.
And they didn't dislike each other. They were just at war. It wasn't like Nate Diaz where he's like, "Yeah, motherfucker, you can be my brother and you're still getting a little shit talked to you right now." Those dudes were just in it and in the moment and like, "Fuck you, no fuck you." Like, they didn't dislike each other. Neither one of them talked shit. It was just one of those fights, man. That was by far and away the best fight of this year, for sure. All things considered. No doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, someone's got to make a poster out of the fucking moment. But what about
Travis Brown and runner-ups. Travis Brown and Arlovsky, I thought was probably my runner-up or at least honorable mention. That was a fucking fun fight too, man. Arlovsky got clipped at the end there and almost got knocked out too. That was a whole lot of fun.
For fun fights, what about the little guy that has a hard time making weight at 125?
Cejudo?
No, the little guy, the hard puncher.
Lineker?
Lineker. Didn't Lineker and
Rivera Jr.
Huh?
Rivera Jr.
Yeah. Rivera, Francisco Rivera.
Yeah, that was a fun fight too.
True. That was a fucking slugfest. They just banged it out and eventually Lineker caught him and slept him. But yeah, that was a whole lot of fun too.
2015 had a lot of the honorable mentions, but I would tell, like I said, that was the fight. If you ever want to get somebody interested in the sport.
Just for English, DC Gus was also a lot of fun. Nice back and forth fight. It was a lot of fun, action packed.
The wrong guy won.
All right. Yeah. Oh yeah, you do hate DC. All right. Moving on. All right. Knockout of the year. I'm gonna go first because it's pretty obvious. Holly Holm knocking out Ronda Rousey, sending her consciousness into fucking space. No one thought it was gonna happen. First of all, everyone's jaw dropped after the first round with Ronda just breathing out of her mouth. We never seen her do that ever. All right. Now the shit Edmund was saying made your jaw drop even more and make the Aaron face that he just made right now. And then the fucking head kick with Ronda being like, "Where is she?" Boom! Over. Knockout of the year right there for me.
Very good one.
What about you, Kirby?
Aaron, go.
Oh, Aaron.
That's a hard one to argue with just because of the shock value. Yeah, there was a lot of good knockouts, but none that stick out in my mind as much as that one because it seemed like you couldn't possibly be seeing what you saw. That was a profound knockout, no question. And then I guess the other jaw-dropping knockout would have been the fucking 13-second performance by the pound-for-pound fighter of the year, Jose Aldo, getting fucking slept in 13 seconds. But I think Ronda takes the cake on that one.
Well, I'm going to have to be the the guy who disagrees on this one, and I'm going to go with what you just said, Aaron. I think that Conor McGregor's knockout of Jose Aldo was the knockout of the year, just for relevance and how much it mattered. Like, Jose Aldo was fucking pound for pound king. I know he hadn't fought very often, but going into that fucking fight, even like I told you guys off air, going into the fight, walking out there, I was like, fuck, man. Conor's going to be fucking around, and Jose Aldo's not the guy to fuck around with. And never in a million years would I have thought literally in the second exchange, and not just kind of like a slight knockdown. Jose was fucking out and took another big one right on the schnoz afterwards. Like, if it hadn't gotten fucking stopped, Conor would have killed him. And it happened extremely quickly, man. So, and plus, come on, with Conor, with his fucking mouth, the first exchange, I'm going to break him. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, he fucking does it. Like, it was fucking incredible, man. That's got to be knockout of the year. Although, I will say, the Holly Holm thing, upset of the year, knockout of the year, that gets a lot of fucking prestige, man. Ronda Rousey had so much hype going into that fight. I don't think nobody saw that going that way either.
Yeah, and a couple comments here on YouTube. MMA Think Tank podcast. My buddy Jay says my fight of the year was Mighty Mouse Dotson 2. Watching Mighty work is like art. And then he also picks the Aldo knockout, the Conor over Aldo knockout for knockout of the year. So.
Well, hey, listen. I appreciate you for appreciating the little guys. I'm glad somebody gave Mighty Mouse a mention because on this show, he ain't getting shit. He starts fucking doing a little something differently.
And Code Blue says, knockout of the year was Holly. We got to see Ronda Soul leave her body. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. All right.
Those are definitely the two that stand out the most, man. Those are the two big ones.
All right, submission of the year. If Kirby, you want to take that
one? Yeah, okay, so for knockout of the year, I picked Conor because I felt like Jose Aldo was a complete legend. There was a lot of hype, and it had a complete changing of the guard. And maybe Holly Holm goes on to be a big deal, but I think Conor definitely is going to be a big deal after that fight. So that had a lot of historical significance tied into it for my pick. With submission of the year, I have none of that. These two pricks probably are never going to have a belt, had nothing to do with belts, but I just thought it was cool as fuck. When Damian Maya bursted old fucking Rick Story's faucet and his fucking nose just exploded with blood, that's just one of the highlights for the year for me, man. It was disgusting and beautiful all at the same time. By far, submission of the year was Damian Maya over Rick Story for me.
All right, Aaron?
I'm going to go with Ben Saunders. First guy to ever pull off, what is it, the omoplata?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, because you see that shit a lot for transitions. You know, they'll go into the omoplata to sweep or something like that. But the fact that he pulled off an old-school jiu-jitsu move like that and finished the fight with it, that's kind of like what was it, in 2015 or 14 we saw the first Twister.
Yeah, the Korean zombie.
Yeah, that's some big shit. So I'm going to have to go with just, okay, that was good form, good, good on you. I'm going to go with Ben Saunders, the omoplata.
All right. I'm stuck in between Ronda Rousey's armbar of Zingano, and Zingano just rushed her and armbarred her in that weird-ass angle. And the one that's going to be my pick, Verdum guillotine choking Cain Velasquez in Mexico, of all places. That, because of the significance of it. That's like, I went to your backyard. I made friends with your people. Supposedly your people. He's Cain's technically American, but whatever. I made friends with your people. They're cheering me. All right? And then I took your belt in front of your homies via the most embarrassing performance you ever put up. And I took your head, put it near my balls, and choked you out, bitch. Like that, to me, just all that's it. Of course, being said, Cain Velasquez is one of my favorite fighters. But just the guillotine choke that Verdun put on Cain, to me, submission of the year. That always is massive to me. But some honorable, what's up?
No, that's great.
Honorable mention, Henderson versus Thatch.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, Henderson looked like a midget standing next to that motherfucker. Took his back, rear naked choke, game time. And then, all right, let's move on to the last one, probably the most important one. Fighter of the year. Obviously, who made the most impact, who's the biggest name. It's kind of obvious who Kirby's going to pick, so I'll go to you first.
Yeah, this is what I was saying for earlier. It's got to be Conor McGregor. I mean, this was definitely the year of Conor McGregor. Had that dude lost a fight or had anything, he had a speed bump in any way, it all wouldn't have turned out the way it did, but everything went fucking perfectly planned for that guy. He got the big Jose Aldo fight at the end of the year, and it literally could not have went any better. I mean, as big a Conor fan as I am, and we've said this before, I think that fight would not go that well for him no matter how many times they fought again. I do think that he beats Jose Aldo 9 times out of 10, but not in the first 13 seconds. So, the dude had a fucking groundbreaking year. So that's kind of easy. I guess my runner-up would be kind of a difficult person to come up with. I'll give it some thought. Surely you two pricks don't want to pick Conor. You got anything lined up? I mean, other than Conor's year?
No, who else am I going to pick, man? Conor McGregor. Timmy, this guy.
And Robbie Lawler had a great year, but I think he's kind of had a couple years where he's kind of been coming up and slowly building.
The reason I picked Conor McGregor, because first of all, 4 knockouts in 1 year? Who was it? Dennis Seaver, Chad Mendes. Oh no, 3 knockouts. Dennis Seaver, Chad Mendes, Jose Aldo. 3 knockouts in 1 year, right? And he doesn't even fight. And all anyone could talk about after this last weekend is fucking Conor McGregor. Okay, yeah. Who's made a bigger impact to the point where he's not even in the same state, in the same fucking hemisphere, not in the same hemisphere, but in the same half of the country, yeah. And they still talk about the motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I gotta pick Conor McGregor. Honestly, my runner-up was Cowboy.
God, go ahead, Aaron. That would have been the fucking fighter of the year had he not sucked dick against Frankenstein Dos Onions. That son of a bitch was on a tear, beating the shit out of people, fighting all the time, fighting anyone, stepping up no matter what. So he, except for last weekend, Cerrone's my fighter of the year. But yeah, Conor, let's on to 2016. Let's see him.
You know what? As much as I hate to say it, because I can't stand this prick, and this is why I love this fucking sport so much, because it gives me somebody to root against. And RDA, I will be rooting against you until you either get beat or you get caught cheating, you fucking prick. But until we catch you cheating, which I think you are, you got to give the fucking credit where credit's due. That fucking guy had a pretty great year, man. He dismantled Anthony Pettis, which I sure as shit didn't see coming, and then completely walked through Donald Cerrone. Not too bad, man, for a year for fucking getting the belt and then defending it in pretty fucking impressive fashion.
Although we hate you.
Yeah, we do hate you. Don't get it twisted. But you look great.
But you get credit, you fuck, basically. That's what
right. Good year for him.
Yeah, a couple YouTube comments here. Code Blue chose, he chose the Cowboy. Remember when Cowboy broke McDessie's jaw?
Yeah, that was fun.
He chose that he said that was an arguable sub. I thought it was yeah, pretty much. He called timeout, right?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Pretty much. As soon as he did, I was like, Cowboy had this look on his face like, you can call timeout here? What the fuck? No.
Does that mean it's over?
You know what I said? I said he just kicked him so hard in the head that motherfucker thinks he's playing football.
Yeah, he's like, hey.
And Jay from MMA Think Tank says, he chose Conor McGregor's fight of the year. And he says, go Condit. So I guess he's picking Condit over Lawler. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Go Robbie.
Yeah. You know what? I just want to see the fight. That's just gonna be great. So I counted. There's 10 weight classes. I was with you. I thought there was 8. There's 10. So
how many belts change? How many belts did we have changed this year? Do you know?
So Demetrius stayed, obviously. TJ Dillashaw, did he win in 2014? I think he did. Right.
So, and wait. So both. Let's start at the very bottom here. Both female belts changed, right?
Yes. Carla lost to Joanna, and Holly Holm took Rousey's belt.
Okay. And then Demetrius kept his belt.
And all the other belts changed except for TJ and Demetrius.
And Fabricio. Fabricio won in 2014, right?
He did.
Or was that the interim title?
No, yeah, that was the interim title. He won the actual title this year. Yeah.
So heavyweight.
Hold on. Let's DC and his bullshit title. Quite frankly, John Jones has not lost the 205-pound belt yet. Let's not get fucking crazy.
Well, if that's true, then Dominic Cruz never lost either.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree. I do agree with that. When is that fight? January what?
Which one?
Is it the second?
Dominic Cruz.
Oh no, that was January the 17th.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's when we'll find out whether that belt actually switches hands or not. TJ still has to beat Dominic to become the legit champ, just like Conor had to beat Jose.
Sunday, January 17th. The Sunday card, weird, but I'm assuming like college football playoffs or something's going on then on that Saturday. But Cruz and Jones are on the same spot. Fucking Goldberg was driving me insane this last weekend. Every 5 fucking seconds. Well, the guy fighting for the belt that he never lost in the octagon, Dominic Cruz is here. Go ahead and talk Cruz. Like, he did it like a million fucking times, driving me insane. But it's fucking true. Him and Jones never lost their belts. You know what I mean? They just got them taken away for different reasons.
Crazy, though. We did have a lot of champions dethroned this year, though, man. It was a good year for the sport.
Fucking Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, obviously Luke, and then like you said, fucking Fabricio. Mm-hmm. Snuffed out your homie, Mr. Kane. Looking forward now into 2016, what are we looking forward to? Super fights. Who do you think keeps their belts? Who do you think is the dominant force in the UFC? What happens?
All right.
Crystal ball time, bitches.
You want to go? Okay, how do you want to do this? By weight division or just overall?
Just generally speaking, what do you think the landscape of MMA will look like by this time next year? Who will be the most dominant champion? Will the pound for pound list have changed? Will John Jones still be the man? Do you think he loses next year? Generally speaking.
John Jones gets his belt back and stays at #1 overall. Demetrius Johnson doesn't lose his belt because there's nobody in that division to beat him. RDA gets snuffed at some point next year. Okay, I'm gonna say Khabib or Tony Ferguson is gonna do it.
With the Tony Ferguson. Okay, go ahead.
Stop hating, motherfucker. I threw Khabib in there too. I know you like that Russian motherfucker. I want to say Robbie Lawler loses his belt. As much as I like Robbie Lawler, I think honestly I think Conor beats him to start the fucking year. But we'll see. Conor McGregor will be the story of next year again. For some reason, the whole thing between two fucking weight divisions is gonna be rough, or it's gonna be a huge story. Luke Rockhold's still a question mark. Cause doesn't it feel like he still doesn't get enough credit? Like, you know, I mean, I don't know. Do you hear the name Luke Rockhold and you're like, oh shit? Like, do you feel that way at all?
I kind of do now.
Okay.
I kind of do now.
Okay. But other than that, dude, I think I don't know if Ronda Rousey beats Holly Holm. I think Holly Holm ends up losing her belt via retirement. And I think Joanna Gadelha is going to be interesting, and I think Gadelha might edge her. Might. But for fucking sure, John Jones is back. For fucking sure, TJ loses. And for fucking sure, RDA loses his belt to somebody next year. That's my crystal ball stuff.
Okay. All right. Aaron, crystal ball?
Do you see the shirt I'm wearing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making any fucking predictions.
That's right. Oh, hey, Mike helped us out. He fucking sent us the guys that won belts that changed hands. So Joanna changed hands, RDA changed hands. I'm sorry, strawweight, women's strawweight changed hands. Fucking lightweight changed hands, heavyweight changed hands, women's bantamweight changed hands, and then middleweight and obviously featherweight changed hands. He sent that little graphic over. That's pretty cool. And Mike says we don't count DC. Fuck that.
Yeah, we definitely don't count DC. Okay, yeah, quickly. We're going to wrap up here soon. I think that John Jones comes back. I do think he keeps his belt. I think he ends up going to heavyweight at the end of next year.
I'm taking that one, too.
I think that Conor, I'm going to go ahead and say that he's the man. I think he does win. I think he stays undefeated throughout 2016 and becomes an even bigger star. I think Mighty Mouse loses because I think he's overrated.
To who?
I don't know. I don't know yet, but somebody will come along. Somebody will drop down from 35 or something will happen. It's enough with Mighty Mouse. Ronda Rousey's done. She won't beat Holly Holm. I think Luke Rockhold's the real deal. I think he'll keep the belt at 85.
Okay.
And let's see. What else is there? That's it, right? I think that will Bellator still be in business 2017?
Ooh.
Yep.
Think so? They'll make it through the whole year?
Yep.
Okay. Better question. WSOF.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
I agree with you.
by halfway next year.
Bellator will be hurting.
They got plenty of money.
I think they'll be okay.
They got plenty of money. The money's not the issue with them. It's lack of fucking know-how to fucking promote shit. I mean, they just make circus fights, right?
True enough.
All right, got a couple of tweets I got to check here. Oh, yeah, this is the Mike George. Oh, here we go. Andrew Reed tweets over. Between Fred with Potato Goblin and Eddie with Kane, this is turning into a love-in, not an award show.
Hey, Jack, don't be hating.
I get Kane
Goblin ruled the year.
I gave Kane 0 props, okay? None. I gave Verdum his due.
This was definitely not Kane's year, for sure.
Yeah, not to mention, the only one that was upset here was Aaron because of Cowboy. That's it. I'm just saying. All right. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap this up?
Nah, I think that'll be it. I think the most interesting fight going into 2016 would be Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor. Really, is there a more entertaining fight that you think that hypothetically fantasy matchup that we could think that would be better for that? Maybe John Jones at heavyweight. hypothetically, if he keeps winning.
Against who though? That's the problem. Even at heavyweight, I don't think. I mean, against Kane maybe. If Kane gets his belt back, maybe. Who else at heavyweight would you want to put him against that you don't think he will snuff?
I mean, maybe him taking Fabricio and doing a double belt light heavyweight thing, a Conor McGregor on the highest of levels type thing could be interesting. We'll see. We'll see
I
what
don't
he
know
can do.
why, but I wouldn't mind seeing John Jones against Overeem. For some reason, I want to see that.
You just don't like Overeem. Okay, quickly, before we go, will it be in New York City? Yes or no?
No, hell no.
Fuck you pricks. Yes, we will.
2-1. All right. That's gonna do it for us. Thanks so much for watching the show. And every show we did this entire year. I guess we'll find out if we do one next week or not, depending on how hammered Kirby is.
No, I'm gonna be wasted. I'm gonna have more, alcohol in my blood than blood in my blood.
All right. Well, stay tuned to Twitter. We'll tell you guys. So you can follow Kirby and watch him slowly replace his blood with alcohol and other fucking substances at Kirby_MMA. I'm at Elaw31. Aaron is at Doc Robbins MMA.
_MMA.
_MMA. I always forget the underscore.
No?
I think it's Doc_Robbins MMA, isn't it?
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. Doc_Robbins MMA. Thank you. Anyway, that's going to do it for us tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the subscribe button somewhere down here. And no other crossover shows going on, so no In the Pocket, none of that stuff this week. We're all going to chill. And we'll see you guys next week for another show whenever it happens. So
Merry Christmas, bitches.
Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. Happy holidays for those that don't celebrate it. And, I don't know, fuck ISIS or something. All right, see you guys.